It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Yes, sir. It's 3 o'clock, and is the L.O.V is the Message Legacy Hour chat. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. My name is Luis Mario. I'm the founder of the Legends of Vinyl DJ and Artist Hall of Fame, and we have a great show for you tonight. This is excellent. I mean, this is one of the probably one of the better shows that you're going to be part of because we have with us a pioneer. We have a legend of vinyl, record promoter, executive, owner, and I've been so many things that this gentleman has been doing throughout the years. His name is Roy B. And let me just tell you a little bit about Roy. At 17, unaware of the path that was put in front of him, he started working for Roulette Records in the late 1969. Now, that year for me is very special as well because the two of us share the same age and we share the beginnings of our careers, really. And I had the pleasure of meeting Roy in the early 70s. Maybe it could be like about the end of 71, 72, maybe, when I first met Roy. And he was the first record promoter to step out of his office and come and visit the DJ at the clubs where we were playing. That was unheard of because everybody was sitting very, very, very happy and in their offices. Roy had better ideas. But at this time, guys, I would like you to please welcome Roy B. And there you are, Roy. How you doing, my friend?
Hello, everybody.
Roy.
Hello, world.
Hello, world. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing, my
Oh,
friend?
I'm doing great too. Thank you for bringing me on, Louis.
Yeah,
We have a tremendous connection with us,
true that.
tremendous memories, foundation, innovations,
Absolutely.
ideas, inventions, pioneer a lot of different aspects in the music business that nobody knows about. All the little intricate little details that nobody understands how they got there.
Right.
There's a lot of things that nobody knows what went on behind the scenes to make a record, how it came out, how
Right.
we did the promotion for the discotheques at that time, how it came out,
Yeah.
and believe me, we did all this with just the goodness of my heart and your heart
Right.
and everybody else's. And it's just a learning process. There was no blueprint. There's no books. There's no there, there is not a
Roar.
blueprint
Roar.
for
Yeah.
what transpired to what everybody's doing today.
That's
No
what
blueprint.
that's what we
It is
call.
a
We're the risk takers. We are the
exactly.
innovators. We are the
Yes.
people who actually put a lot of this together just because it happened, because it was logical, because you had the
Mm-hmm.
initiative, you have the creativity to see,
Yes.
like you did, way before anything like that, like stepping out of your office. I mean, I came to your office so many times. And yes, I
Yes.
went to your, I mean, I was crazy in those days. If you remember, I would used to go
Oh yes.
through your everywhere just to know, just to see if you were hiding something from us.
You went through all the boxes,
Yes,
all the
and I'd say,
our
"What are you
our
hiding
little
here, Roy?
our
Let me
little
see it."
storage,
Yeah,
all our
man.
storage room. I said,
And
go ahead, go to the storage and pick what you want. See
and
what you
then
like.
and this is ways before even the
The
record pools,
warehouse.
the record pools, and then you came to the records. I mean, to the clubs, and you
Hmm.
said, "Here, in the middle of the night." I mean, you probably was the only promoter that I
Yes.
could take your word for it and say, here, play
Hmm.
this record while you have a dance floor. No,
Hmm.
not many DJs will take that chance because you had to
No.
listen to the song
Yes.
prior to play it for the
You
audience.
mix
But
it.
you
Hmm.
were so confident and everything that you said, and so you were always from day one. I remember you having hit after hit after hit. Obviously, with Roulette Records, you were involved with the 50s and 60s. I mean, let's go back
Oh
to
yes.
before that. Let's go, like I want to know about Roy B before 1969. Really, let's go back to
Oh
1968. No, let's not go back that far. Let's in the
no, no,
early
can't go back that far.
no 68. was like, borderline. With the
We
two
were
of
like
us are the
kids.
same age, so we were kids, yes. So you were 17 and 19. So what was your thinking? What did you wanted to do other than getting on Roulette Records and becoming the greatest promoter really there ever been?
Uh, yeah, to tell the truth, everything happens with luck.
Right.
And I had no idea at that age what I'm going to be. All I know, I had to go to college. I finished high school very young. I had to go to college, and I just finished high school when I
Yeah.
got to Roulette.
Right.
Okay, I just finished high school,
Right.
and then my next step was going to college. I started going to Queens College.
Wow.
Then I left Queens College, and I went to actually New York City College
Right.
and university. And then from that point, I was just started. And then during those days, companies used to come to colleges and hire people. They had usually have a big convention there, and they were picking up people, getting them ready, getting them ready to be working for them when they graduate, like
Wow.
Xerox, IBM,
Right.
uh, uh,
Mm-hmm.
people in General Motors, Ford. I mean, big corporations, stock companies used to come into college, had all these booths set up, so people to come in and say, "What are you learning? What are you taking?" And I came in, and then Roulette Records representative was there,
Hmm.
and I came in, I sat with him, and but I had a music background. I had a band. I had a high school band.
Okay.
Okay,
Cool.
we had a band.
Mm-hmm.
I used to play drums.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, I got there and was interviewed with this guy. I can't remember his name. And he says, "Do you have?" I told him I'm taking business administration. I'm taking accounting and business administration. That's what I was doing. He said, "Ah, good." And he says, "Maybe you should come and work for us. When you finish graduate, we will pay for you to continue your school." I said, "You pay for me? Really?" He says, "Yes, we will pay your tuition
Right.
until you finish." I'm like, "What? Really?" He says, "Yes." So I worked for them from 9 a.m. until like about 2 o'clock. Okay,
Right.
every day. And at 2 o'clock, I used to leave the office. And if you remember, the office was on 60th Street, 60th to 17 West 60th Street in Columbus, Manhattan.
That's true. Of
Right?
course. That's
Yes,
it.
that's
That's
right.
it. Yeah.
And then I used to take the train, and I used to go take the train back to 20. I think New York City college was on 23rd Street or somewhere.
Right.
And I used to take the train there and take the evening classes. Okay,
Yeah.
that was my routine.
Wow. Me too.
From school, went to work, went to school, and worked with them part time. And then that's what I was doing. And then one thing that leads to led to another, and uh, there was a club opening in Manhattan. It was called Adam's Apple.
I remember
I
it
don't know if
well.
you.
I remember it well. I remember.
Now
Yeah.
they sent this invitation,
Yeah.
and then I received the invitation on my desk. I
Right.
don't know why I got it, but I was doing accounting. I was paying bills, paying royalties, paying artists, and paying, I'll let you know who I was paying. And then I was, working on the accounts payable. That's what I was involved in, Roulette
Okay.
Records, accounts payable.
Right.
And I received this thing, and then I went and I said, "You know what? I think I'm going to go to this particular place." I don't know what it is. The invitation looks so weird, and I've never seen anything like it. So that evening was during the week. I went to the opening, whatever it was. When I walked in, I see lights, a ball of lights. I see two floors, one on top.
Right.
And I walked in and I'm hearing music that I've never heard in my life. Never heard this music before. Never, 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 never. And I said, mind you, I work for a record company. At that time, I was handling Tommy James and the Shondells.
Right.
Okay. That's my biggest act that I was handling at that time. That was my account. I was handling the studio recording, payment, that stuff. booking the recording, make sure the musicians gets paid, make sure the bookings is done, you know, the arrangers, the musicians, whoever was coming back and forth, you know, just making sure all the everything was going on for Tommy James and the Shondells. Okay,
Right.
that's my account.
Right.
Also, we had a Latin division where I was handling Tito Puente, La Lupe.
Yeah, they were
I
huge
mean,
with that.
they,
Yeah,
they were they, they were
Fania,
like at that time. Yes,
The Fania All Stars.
well, they went to Fania afterwards, but
After
at
that,
the beginning they were in Roulette.
yeah.
Roulette had a different uh, Latin division called Tico Records. I think it was Tico
Oh
Records.
wow, yes, yes, yes.
It was Tico
Uh,
Records that was handling all the Latin department. Then we had another department with the jazz.
well,
We had Washington. What's her name again?
Grover
Uh,
Washington,
very famous soul artist.
Washington, Grover Washington.
The woman.
Oh,
Ella Fish, not Ella Fitzgerald.
Deborah Washington.
Something I can't remember, but there was a lot of old artists R&B group on the 50s
Okay,
that Roulette was still producing and releasing
right.
around. I can't
Yeah.
remember all their names, but anyway. And but I was around that environment, and then one day after I received that invitation, I went to the club. I walked in, and I see this particular club, and I'm like, "What is this? What kind of music is this?" I work for a record company. I never heard this music before in my life. I don't know where it came from,
Who were the
and I
old
was
farts?
mesmerized by the club. I was like, I was taken by this particular situation that I couldn't understand. And then I walked in, I said to the manager, the guy at the door, I said, "Excuse me, where is this music coming from?" He says, "Oh, we have a guy it's called a disc jockey in a booth upstairs." I'm like, "Excuse me?" First of all, when I walked in, I was looking for a jukebox, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Typically,
normally in those
yeah,
days,
sure, yeah.
we only had jukeboxes.
Either with a band and the band ended, and then the
A band or
jukebox.
the jukebox.
Yeah,
Yes, it's either or. There was never one human being playing records. That
right.
did not exist.
Mm,
Your existence started in France. Okay,
hmm.
the word discotheque is a
Yes.
French word.
Educate, baby.
Okay,
Educated.
yes, it's a French word that was done in France. And in France, they didn't have jukebox. They had a person playing a record, a little 45,
Right.
at their little joints. You know what? We're going to the joint. That's the only thing. There was no thing at a club. It's a nightclub. It's a joint. You know what I'm talking about? Those were the words on those days.
Correct.
The word discotheque came in around that time.
Right.
Okay, that
Yeah.
was the first word that came out around that time.
Right.
So now I go in, and I'm like mesmerized by this particular sound. For some reason, God gave me something. It had me sitting there all night until 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, this is the next step. The next step is I'm going to go confront the person that's playing all these records. I asked the manager, please, I'd like to meet the person that's playing all these records. And then I walked in, he brought me to this little tiny thing, the size of a
Closet,
two
not
by
even.
four.
Yeah, 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 sure.
He's hunched down.
Yeah.
I'm like, and he's got two turntables and he's playing little 45s and one after the other. And he's sweating bullets because at that time, the little 45s only were like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes.
And probably the amps and everything was in the same location, the same
Yeah,
room.
yeah. I mean, everything was right
Mm,
there. I mean,
yeah,
like to the little circle. I'm like, this guy is working like a dog. What is he doing?
yeah,
To me, it was like mesmerizing.
right.
And I shook his hand. He says, hi. He says, and then I what was his name again?
Yes, we researched it. I forgot all about that. We
Yes,
researched it.
you research this
Yeah,
guy.
we do. That
And
you and
then,
I researched that. Yeah,
and
I
then,
forgot. I
and
forgot.
then, all of a sudden, I introduced myself to him. And I said to him, I work for a record company. That word at that time I said, I work for a record company and I never heard this music before. The guy almost fainted. I was like, God damn, that moment. He says, you work for a record company?
Yeah.
I said, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's a natural thing. To
Right.
him, to you guys, remember those days.
Right.
You meet somebody from a record company. We
Yeah.
were like, God.
Well,
We
no,
were
hey,
like,
wait a minute. No, no, no,
we were
don't
like,
go there. Don't go there.
he's
No,
like,
no, yeah, yeah,
idols.
yeah. I gotta get to know this
Yeah,
guy. In my
that guy.
case, I gotta get to know this
Yeah, yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
you
he's
know
got
that.
the product. Okay, this is the product we're looking
Yeah,
for.
yeah. So anyway, so I met this guy. This guy was freaking out over me because I work for a
Right.
record company. But I
Right.
was freaking out over him
Right.
over what he was doing, which I was never exposed to. I don't
Right.
know it.
Right.
The next morning, after I left the place, I got home very late. My wife that time was asking me. And I was married too, very young. My son,
Oh, for real. Oh,
when I became 18, I had a son,
okay. Cool.
and I got home like for my little baby, and then where have you been? It's 4 o'clock in the morning.
Uh oh.
You're supposed to be at work. You're supposed to be going to school. Like all this stuff was coming
Oh
on.
yeah,
And then I said, you don't know. I went to a place. I'm explaining. I said, she says, what? I don't understand. Da, 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 da. But anyway, bye bye.
yeah.
But that was the beginning of a discovery of the music business and the disco era. That
Yeah.
moment, that's when this whole situation started opening. Ideas, what's
Hmm.
happening, what is it? How can we? I mean, at one part of the situation, you guys, John Rossi. That was his
John
name.
Rossi. Man, you had it. You're not too old. I mean, yeah, you're my age, but I'm losing. I have a
That's
lot
his
of
name.
senior moments. You're still sharp. All right. Good. John
Yes,
Rossi.
his name was John Rossi.
Yeah,
If I
and
remember
I
that right.
found
I
a
wish I
guy.
one day.
I found a guy, man. I found a guy. I have his link and everything. I found.
Oh
I
my God!
kept
I
it.
hope one day I could meet him
Yeah.
and for him to know that
Yeah.
that moment, him and I really linked and created something that he's probably still produce. I don't know what he's doing right now. If he's in the music business, I
Yeah.
have no idea.
Yeah.
And that was an amazing moment that created the promotion, the records, the mixing, the editing, the expanding records, making records longer, editing, DJ booth,
Well, that
putting rubber bands
that
around turntables.
experience,
I
really hit you hard, and I'm glad. I'm glad
Oh
that
no, 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 no! That's the moment. That's the beginning.
right,
The innovations going to
hmm
mastering,
right,
remaster music, recutting records,
right,
re-editing records, putting the front to the back to the middle to the back. I mean,
correct.
all these
Yeah,
these ideas.
yeah,
Those ideas were taken because I was listening to you guys.
yeah, yeah,
You were doing something
yeah.
that you didn't know you were doing, but I was doing it,
Well,
and
we were working with those 45s, like you said, and we
yeah,
were having a hard time because the record was so hot in cases, so we needed to get two copies. And we were looking for the
yes,
instrumental. Some of them had instrumentals on the other side, some of them didn't. So we needed to extend the
yeah,
3 minutes or maybe 2 minutes and 14 seconds or whatever the small
yes,
short length. And we found ourselves
yes,
really, like you say, sweating bullets, going back and forth. That was the early
yes,
part.
back and forth.
Very few
Yeah,
LPs, totally, yeah, we had the LPs, but
no, there was no
the
LPs.
45s
No,
were flying all night long, man. It was, and then you
yes, no,
decided, yeah, we worked.
you worked very hard because you couldn't flip an LP into your turntable that fast as you did it on a 45.
Correct. That's
The
true too.
45 was
Yeah.
faster to put on the turntable than an LP.
And we've developed this
Later
little
on,
technique. Yeah, boom, boom. And we sometimes we even flipped the record and it fell right on the center of the freaking. That was how we with
yes,
extraordinary
yes,
things. And
yeah,
so but you had so much to do with so many little details. There is
yes,
one story because I talk to you so much about these things. One of the things that remember when you went to the office and you found a record on the shelf, but you didn't know that this record was already released, or but you liked it, you heard it, and you brought it to a club, and the name of
Hmm.
the song was Bananati Coco,
Oh my God, yes,
and you
that was,
almost got fired because of that. Tell the story, man.
yes. Well, yes. Anyway, this is a story beyond stories. This is how the disco business started, really. Banana Tea Coco, that nobody knows about,
Not that
but
many
in the
people,
club scene,
my generation, does. I mean,
yes, you're guessing.
yeah.
Max B is the artist.
Max B, yeah.
Yes, and it's a jungle music. It's like really like crazy song, jungle music beat. But for the disco era at that particular moment, discotheque. Let me not say the word disco. The discotheque era at that moment, that was a phenomenal song.
Sure, absolutely.
But it's an import. Now
Right,
remember, every DJ, the audience that's looking at me over there, every DJ at that time were getting their songs from Europe.
right,
Not a single US company produced a dance record at that time.
right.
Not a single one. Every song that every DJ played back in the day, 69, 77, they were coming from
Sure,
Europe.
right,
And how that transition came to me is because I met somebody in Canada, and the Canadian person contacted me, and then that's how the liaison between me and the Canadian with France, England, Italy, all over Europe started.
right,
And at that moment, at that my age, I was getting input on foreign disc, the
right,
little clubs
right,
like Philips, Barclay, it's a few little labels that were in Europe,
right,
Polydor Europe, Korea Record in Europe, all these labels in Europe
right.
were producing these records. You can understand Europe love American music, but they didn't understand the English, so they really went for a beat and a small melody so they can repeat.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Right,
so they can hum and repeat like a hook.
right,
Okay, but they don't understand the rest of the song, but they wanted a beat and a hook and a melody that they could sing. They just sing along with it.
right.
So therefore, I was getting that particular situation from the Europeans, and you guys were getting the same thing from the Europeans. You used to go to the record store and used to buy European products.
Right.
That's what you bought. Whatever you were buying, they were from
Hmm.
Europe, not the U.S. No
Hmm.
American
I have it.
companies was making this stuff.
Right.
Okay, so at that time, so that's how I fell into that. It's
Correct.
a niche that I fell into, unknowing what I was falling into. I didn't plan it. Like I said, there was no blueprint for
Hmm.
this particular situation to take place.
Right.
So now, Banana Chicogo comes in, and it's an import. I told my publishing guy, I said, get this record. He brought it to me. He says, hey, I'm getting this import. I got this import. And I showed it to him. I said to him, why don't you get this record? Because it sounds very interesting. It sounds like jungle music. It
Yeah.
sounds like raw. It sounds
Right.
like, he says, what are you? You're the bookkeeper. You're the,
Ah.
yeah, I mean, Roy B, please. I really called me Roy B. I said, Roy, why do you want to be in the music business for? I said, listen, I haven't this thing in me that I'm feeling because
No.
I'm in the streets
Cool.
and
Cool.
I'm dealing with you guys
Right.
and I have feeling this particular thing will work. So he gets the record. He says, okay, let me start a pressing. So we master the record. Usually my job is I receive normally like 10 test pressings,
Right.
okay? Because it's made on a plate.
Correct.
There's a plate that it's made. And usually the plate will have nicks, scratches, things like that. So I usually listen to all the test pressings that you guys I give you
Right.
to see if there's any little nicks, scratches, like little sound that's on the record.
Sure. To clean it. Right.
So I play them, I listen to them. I say, okay, this plate number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is good, and plate number 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, there's a little scratch in there, so they'll know which plate to change to redo it, so we could be tested
Of
again, so
course.
that when
Right.
they start master printing,
Right.
the records comes out clean. So
Correct.
anyway, it's a little technical stuff. So now you guys came in, and every Thursday I usually have a meeting with 5 of you. There was no more than 5 guys. There was only 5 clubs that I knew at that time,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Early on. Right.
And then uh, I received the text. I said, "Here's one for you. Here's one for you. Here's one for you." And they went out. The guys played it, and they told me, "Roy, it is phenomenal. It's gonna be white lines."
Absolutely.
You know what white lines mean? Nobody knows that. It means that they're gonna play the record so much that the grooves that were black,
They're gonna be
it's
white
gonna
lines.
become white.
No.
That's how much you
And
played the record.
that's what happened to the record when you go back and forth. You develop a
When you
white
go
line.
zip zip zip, yeah, yeah, because you played it, you go back, you played it, and the needle will start
Scratch on that.
making
Yeah, even though
scratching the
it's a
acetate,
diamond. Yeah, depending also
making white
on
lines.
depending on this
Yes,
on the needle. Statin
right.
680 EL.
Yeah, yes. So now the record goes out for the weekend. Monday morning, I come in like normal. I come in Monday and everything is fine. I don't see anybody in the office. Nobody's in that office. I'm like, hey, what's going on? The switchboard operator, her name, I remember her name. Her name was Marie, beautiful lady. I walked in. I said, hey, Marie, where's everybody? Oh, right. And my boss, if nobody knows, it was Morris Levy, the
Mars.
biggest, to me, the
Sure.
biggest wonderful guy that put me on this planet.
Right,
Give me
Mars. Right.
gave me what I had, what I done, what gave me everything. Okay,
Right.
I cannot deny it.
Right.
And he says he has everybody in the meeting room and the conference room upstairs. Now, I'm telling you, Roulette had like maybe 50 people working there, 50, 70 people, like
Wow.
2 floors.
Wow.
Because you got publishing, you have the R&B department, you have the
Everything in the house.
record department, you got department, the Latin department. I mean, it was all a big company.
Right.
So I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? Meanwhile, I'm thinking that I probably did something wrong in my accounts payable. I'm not thinking about records.
All right.
Because I said, they need you, they need you, they need me. I said, me? What did I do? I'm shaking in my pants. I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? I said, give me 20 minutes. Let me go to my desk and find out if I paid somebody too much. I did something wrong. You know, thinking I wired money to a different account. Something happened. I sent money to the wrong account. I did something with the money. You know, I'm thinking about the money.
Right.
Nothing else but the money.
Right.
And I'm checking everything. Everything looks fine. And they called me up and said, please come up. Oh my God. I'm climbing up those steps to go up. My stomach, I had diarrhea. I'm very young,
Oh,
and I'm
shit.
going to face a mountain of professional people, you know?
Right.
And I went back downstairs. I went to the bathroom. I had a diarrhea attack. I had to go. I went, and I come out, and I came back up. I opened this door of the conference room. There's like a slew of people there. And then they all look at you. You know, when you walk in the last
Sure.
person,
Of
all the
course.
heads turns around.
Yeah.
They look at you. And I'm shaking, sweating. And I'm like, okay, what happened? They said, oh, we're having a very intricate meeting right now. He says, Morris is there. Somebody has bootleg record number R2, those days you work by numbers.
Sure. Yeah.
R 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like the acetate, you'll see the numbers in there. Because I don't know the name yet, but it's go by record number.
Right.
Somebody's bootlegging this particular record number. I want his head on the platter.
Ooh.
I'm like, oh, is that all? You know, I'm thinking, it's not me. It's not me. I'm scot-free.
Right.
So I said, okay, what is the record number? They told me the number. He says, okay. I said, let me go down and check. He said, I said, find out. Normally, when we're ready to go to play the record, we have 3 record pressing plants. One in Philadelphia,
Right.
one in the Midwest, with Chicago,
Right.
and then one on the West Coast in California.
Mhm.
So when you're releasing a record, you have the pressing plant in that area releasing for the Eastern Seaboard,
Right.
the Central, Chicago, Detroit, all this area, and California area. So the pressing cannot go from, oh, I'm shipping record from from Philadelphia all the way up to California. It would be too costly. So
Right. Right.
you have strategic areas where you could print and press your records. And I said, okay, no, technically, I said, no problem. Let me find out if one of the distributors, a record pressing company, shipped any records to the distributors.
Right.
So it could happen. Like
Right. Okay.
you send the test pressing to be done, and then all like they send it to the distributors. After that, we give the okay, and they send like 100 to the distributor. Hey, this is a new release from Roulette or Warner Brothers or whoever it is. They ship the record. Now the distributor now can take the record and bring it out and start promoting it, unknowing, and they tell the company, "Hey, I got a bite on your record, and it's looking good. Let's go with it for the area where they're at."
Right.
It's nothing unusual. So now I'm calling all the 3 pressing plants. I said, "Hey, record number da 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 da. Did you guys accidentally ship the record to any distributors?" "Nope, we didn't ship. We didn't print anything. We only send you the acetates. The guys, what you got?" I said, "Okay." Call the next distributor. "No, we didn't ship anything out. We're still here waiting for your orders to press." I said, "We didn't press the record. We didn't do anything with the record." Me, I forgot completely that I
Yep.
received the 10 pressings and I give it to 5 DJs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So Morris Levy is yelling at the head promoter, "How do you know the record is released?" I said, "Well, how do you know the record is out there?" He says, "Well, I got a call from one of our distributors that says there was a demand for the record. They asked for the record."
Sure. Yeah.
I'm like,
Record what? Record stores? Record stores.
"Yeah, a record
Yeah.
store."
Yeah.
So somebody, I don't know which club it was, asked who that record was. Normally, on those days, they come to you as a DJ. "Hey, where's that record?" You tell them, "Hey, it's the name of it is da 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 da." And that
Sure.
person, that customer
Yeah.
that asked you for the record, will
Yeah.
go to a record
Go to the
store
record store.
and
Yeah.
ask for it.
Sure.
And in the record store, and I will say, "I have it," or if I don't have it, I will call the distributor to get it
Absolutely.
for you. You know,
Absolutely. Right.
you know that. So anyway, they call up the distributor and they said, how do you know the record, who asked for it?" The guy says, "Well, I don't know." This is call the record store and to ask, how did they hear about the record? So they call the record store. The record store tells the distributor, they heard the song on a place called a discotheque. Now, the word discotheque
Right.
is unheard of. By all means, on nobody's ears.
Especially in those
Nobody.
days, yeah. When that song came out, it was just dance clubs. Yeah.
Dance club, yeah. Nobody ever heard the word discotheque, never in
Right.
their lives, except you, me, and people.
Right.
The word came out. He came back up to the meeting room, and he says, they heard the song in a place called discotheque. Immediately, I had another diarrhea attack. Immediately, I'm sitting here, and I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, "Oh my God.
Oh shit.
Oh my God."
That's
I said, "I have to
me.
go down." I ran down. I went to the bathroom. I swear to God, I was freaking out. I came back up. I said, "I'm going to research something. I'm going to check. I went down. I had another diarrhea attack. I went back up. And Morris Lee people has a brain because nothing is written on those days. Those guys are mafioso guys. They're like,
Right.
religious.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Fucking
Sure.
nothing. And then he says to me, he says, wait a second. I didn't mention that to him, by the way. He says, "Didn't somebody mention that name to me a while back about something called discotheque?" Somebody mentioned that to me. My Louis, my gut, my stomach, my energy, everything on me is dying. I think I'm dead. I think I'm gonna get killed.
Yeah. Sure.
I made the biggest mistake in my life.
Yeah.
I am going to die. Something's gonna happen to me. I'm young. I have a little baby boy. I'm thinking about all these things, and I'm thinking that this is the end of me. Right? Finally, I said to myself, I said, let me confront the situation.
Come clean, bro.
I took 10 deep breaths. I walked into the room. I said, Mr. Levy, I'm the one that told you about the name discotheque. Aha! You told me about that. Sit down. I said, I'm the one that told you about it. I told you there was a different way to promote records, to get your records to be heard. There's a new phenomenon out in the streets of New York where you take, normally you take your record, you go to the DJ and like Frankie Crocker, you go to them, you say, here's the record,
Right.
and please listen to me, plead with them to play the records, right? That's what you do.
Yeah.
And you don't have an instant reaction. The clubs that I'm dealing with, the discotheques that I'm dealing with,
Right there.
you get an instant
Uh,
reaction that we should buy this record or not buy this record.
correct.
So should we go with it or not go with it?
Correct.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Now we can do something with it. He says, shut the door. I'm like, holy shit. He said, everybody out. Everybody out. And I'm shaking. I'm sweating. Everybody left the room. And he said, shut the door. I think I'm going to die. I swear to God. I thought I was going to get killed.
Sure.
And he said to me, I want your ass. Those were the words. Out of accounting. I swear to God.
No shit.
I want you to sit right there in this room and find out everything you can about this phenomenon. That word discotheque you're telling me about. I want to know everything there is to know about discotheque. What it is, what it's doing, what is it there, why is it here, who's doing it, who's blah, 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 blah. I want to know everything about it.
Right.
And then that's how I became what I became. Starting getting you guys.
I gotta tell you, you had to go through all of that to become one of the greatest freaking record promoters to date. And I
Yes.
thank you for doing that because, and I met you right in the early days, right there when even the transition, as you put, we were going through the transition into the Philadelphia
Oh my God, yes.
music that was coming out in '72 and so on. So the transition was fierce for all of us because we were into the rock and roll, Motown, gospel, and all of that. Into the transition into
Yes.
the tramps, the stylistics, and the intruders, and so on and so forth, the spinners, and so on.
Yes.
But you had an incredible record at the same time where it was like the monumental time when the club disco, the disco, came out with Ecstasy, Passion, and Pain.
Well, yes. Well, during that time, we had Moment of Truth and Roulette,
Moment of
uh,
Truth. Yeah,
and we have the 3 degrees
right.
and Ecstasy, Passion, and Pain, and of course we had DC LaRue, our friend DC LaRue,
Our friend, yeah, yeah. Great show, by the way. He
and
had, yeah.
DC LaRue formed a record company called Pyramid Records,
Pyramid.
and DC LaRue was the first one
Right.
that came out of that label,
Yeah.
and I took DC around me all over the place promoting his record, Cathedral.
Oh, that's
You
seven.
know, made him.
That was like
Yeah,
76. Cathedral
I don't
75
remember.
or
I don't
76.
remember that year,
Yeah,
but
I do because I met him in
yeah,
that particular
yeah,
75.
yeah.
But and obviously Barbara Roy was
Well,
with
yes,
you until
yes.
all those years, and Tom Moulton had the great
Oh, Tom Moulton. Yeah,
you
we
know
met Tom
put
Moulton. It
his
was
hand
was
in there and created what that album became.
Tom
Um,
Moulton. Yeah, Tom Moulton happened to became a remixer.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
in other words, from me doing editings,
right,
Tom Moulton was the first person that took the the song to a different level. In other words, redoing it, rearranging, remixing it, reproducing it.
Correct.
Okay,
Right.
and that's his legacy. Tom, I love you wherever you are. I hope I don't know if you're watching this, but anyway, I gotta pay
Yeah.
homage to you because, and then of
Yeah.
course, and we did Ask Me. This the song came Ask Me. Philadelphia people. I work with the Philadelphia sound people where the Tramps were the ones playing on the
So you
records.
did work with Sigma Sound at some point or another,
Oh
right?
my God!
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes. All oh my
Yeah.
God! Sigma
Yeah.
Sound and and um,
And also Vince
and
Montana, which the two of us are in this movie that's coming up about the life of Vince Montana and all of that, right?
oh yes, yes, Vince Montana. Vince Montana was becoming a legend in himself, but he was producing a different genre of music. He
Right.
was founding. He was doing some great, great stuff, producing major acts, major artists, and he was doing a phenomenal job. I mean, he
MFSB.
was.
MFSB, the sound of, yeah,
Oh
MFSB.
yeah, Messiah of Philadelphia,
Yeah.
MFSB. Love is the message. One of the greatest, one
That's
of
right.
our greatest, greatest
That's true.
track.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
mean, that track is irreplaceable.
Right.
That track is an amazing track
I
for
mean,
all dance music people.
yeah.
I mean, it's
Let me
and
tell
Ecstasy,
you.
Passion, and Pain, by the way,
Yeah.
was the first disco charted Billboard record.
Right. It's true. First disco Billboard chart record of the group called Ecstasy, Passion, and Pain for Ask
Right,
Me. And
right.
Ask Me, I mean, the
Ask
whole
me.
album is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
But
Oh
Ask
yeah,
Me was
great,
like
great, great.
the biggest hit
Yeah,
right there. But
yeah.
I just, I want to tell the world, by the way, you are listening to the L.O.V.
Well,
is the message legacy chat right now with the legendary Roy B. In 1979, as I was hired
mm,
to, unfortunately, I took the job because they paid me very well. Disco was coming
hmm
to a very bad ending. I mean, it was just too much going on, and I was hired to kill it in Vegas. And I was, believe me, that's history. It is what it is. I mean, money talks, and you know what walks. I was against it, but my manager said, "This is what you're gonna get paid." So I said, "Let me do it. I'll do it." So I went to do this with one very interesting group that at that time in '79, everything was changing. The music, the punk music, and all of that was changing and overlapping what the disco thing was going through. A group but that you managed to bring into the front successfully once again, aside from so many other called the Rappers Delight Sugar Hill Gang.
Oh yes,
And that was an incredible task, I'm sure, for you because
yes,
you had to
yes.
present this. How did you present this to the people?
Well, Mars Levy, after I went out and I did in my own productions, running and my own production company, my own promotion company, my own record company,
Right,
and promoting different artists, forming Prism Records, Prelude Records, Emergency Records, a countless of other
brass records.
brass records, Casual records.
Mm,
I produce a whole bunch of other different labels,
right,
help a bunch of different artists, remix a bunch of artists, promoting a bunch of different artists
right,
around, and
right,
all in good faith. Like I didn't ask for money, I didn't do anything. I was just helping out.
right.
They paid me a little bit to do my stuff, but it wasn't big stuff like I should be getting. But anyway,
Hmm.
it was what it was. It is what it is. And at that time, I was the number one promoter in the country.
Yep.
Uh, where to the point where uh, Warner Brothers, somebody from Warner Brothers in Atlantic Records, they called me at Roulette, not at Roulette, at Prelude. I was running Prelude.
Hmm.
They called me up. They said, Roy B. I said, yes. I'm not going to tell you who my name is. I don't know who it was still today. Stop telling producers you like their records.
I love this.
I'm like, what do you mean? He says, every time you said you like a record they bring to you, they come to us and then we have to buy it because the first thing they said, Roy B likes it. Immediately we buy it. We don't even have to say, "Oh, let me hear it. Let me do it." No, 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 no. Immediately, that word comes out of their mouths, and they said, "Roy B at Prelude likes it." Immediately, we buy it. Now we were buying so many products that we won't have time to release them. Please stop telling the people you like the records. I'm like, what?
That's right.
Because at that
Yes,
time,
sir.
all the stuff that Warner had, all the stuff that Atlantic had, all the stuff that Polydor had, all the stuff that Capitol Records had, all the stuff that all these other record people have, they came to me first. Okay?
Yep, 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 yep.
And they went out because of, what I'm thinking, what I think, what I see. They said they took it to another label because I'm a small record company. I'm not gonna give you $100,000 advance.
Right.
I'm gonna give you 25,000, 50,000 maximum. When you say I like it, they go to the other companies.
Mm,
Because at that time, Prelude was becoming a hot item
sure.
because of me.
Absolutely.
Everything we put out was hot because I was
Hmm.
producing, promoting,
Yeah.
and buying products that producers were bringing to the table. And those that I missed,
Yep.
those that came to me first, and they went to the other labels to get more money, and that's what happened.
And that's one of these records is Macho, which there were
Oh,
two.
Macho,
There
yeah.
were two Machos. One by Roy
Uh-huh.
B, which is the one that he presented to me, which
Hmm.
I have so many acetates. No label in the freaking thing.
Yes.
So until this day, I still find these freaking records, and it's all Roy giving me these acetates. But this is the one we played versus the other one that
Yeah.
came out by another label. I believe is RFC.
Well,
RF,
that
yeah,
what happened is this is the story. I come with the record,
yeah,
okay?
yeah.
They came to me
Right,
first,
right.
okay,
That's right.
with the record.
Yeah,
I made a deal with them, right?
yeah.
I'm going to release the record, right? And then all of a sudden, where did they go? They went to Warner Brothers.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Since
Yeah,
Roy B is going to release this record, he likes it.
yeah.
What did they do? He's $100,000.
Right.
Cancel that deal.
And that
And
alone,
that's what happened.
that's what happened with this record that it became a monster. But this one right here by Rick Summer.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You
Same
came
thing.
up with this in here, I believe it was 1979, but
Uh-huh.
and this record should be played. I mean, this version is
Yes.
absolutely phenomenal, and I played it
Yes.
because I liked it. And it's called
Yep.
"Born to Be Alive" before Patrick, I think
Hernandez.
Hernandez,
Yes.
but you gave him a lot of money, but the other
Yes.
agency or
CBS.
yeah,
I'm not saying it's CBS, Columbia Records. I
there you
think it
go,
was.
boom,
Give him more money
yeah,
to outbuy me, outpurchase me.
yeah.
And I said, "Oh, really? I made a deal with you to release this record.
Yeah.
I paid you for that record, for that
Yeah.
master."
And please, DJs, listen to this Rick Sanders 12-inch by Roy. It's on Brass Records, by the way. Okay,
Yes,
Brass is
Rick
the
Summer.
original.
Yes,
Okay, and because
original.
it is absolutely phenomenal. And then besides that,
Yes,
he had Roy B Records. I heard it to the grapevine. That's
oh
another freaking,
yes,
and that's another
it's
test.
an
Look at this, a
amazing record.
freaking test press, and just
Amazing.
a writing in there. You had another group called Soccer. You
Yes,
had
soccer was
obviously
with Tony Valor,
right.
and I released also Carl Williams.
Correct. That's true. There you go. And I
Carl
played that.
Williams.
I played that. You had also
Uh-huh.
Melody Stewart, Action
Yes,
Satisfaction,
yes,
and
big
I mean
time.
so many other records, Roy. To this day, I'm still finding this thing here, and I should make a probably a shelf just for your stuff. But it's just
Uh,
been quite a ride for me to enjoy the music that
yes,
you. There is one last little memory lane as you created Emergency Records. I mean, that's also
yes,
comes to mind.
yes.
Emergency Records, and you got some guy to come to you with some amount of money, and he wants it overnight to become a success, right?
Overnight, over. Yes.
Yeah.
His name was, he's an Italian guy, walks up to me and he says to me, I need you to form a record company for me. I said, sir, I'm handling 5 record companies right now. I can take 6. He says, I'll pay you for more money for all the 5 that we created for one
Right.
for my label. I'm like, sir, please. I am dealing with 5 labels, 5 artists, and I'm dealing with all these artists, DJs, and record companies. I have to be, he says, I cannot. He says, you don't understand. I'm going to pay you more money than you're handling all these 5 record companies.
Right.
The guy bugged me for 2 weeks. And I finally says, okay, let's do it. And I got my staff. I said, listen, I have to form a label. And this guy had an idea of one record. It's called Cafe. Okay.
Cafe, cafe, cafe,
Now,
cafe.
mind you, that record, you're not going to believe this.
Yeah.
When I made the Cafe record, he says he had the idea to make a record called Cafe. So now I'm like, okay, you know. But the problem was, not the problem, he already had a deal with the record Cafe, the song Cafe, on a movie.
Mm.
Now, the movie was this Italian Western guy, the spaghetti Western, what's his name? Dino De Laurentiis, I don't know.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
He was the blonde guy that was replacing Clint Eastwood.
Oh,
Um,
I can.
I don't know his name,
I don't
but
remember.
it's an old Western type of cowboy thing. But he was making a updated movie, but he was like Dirty Harry, but on a different level. Okay,
Right. Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the name of this movie. Super Cop. I think it was Super Cop. I think it was. But anyway, the song was already the title in the movie.
Right.
Okay, and I had to make remaster, reproduce the song, rearrange the song, redo it, everything. So I had this guy named Jonathan Fearing. I don't know if you remember him, a
Yes, I
DJ.
do. Yes, of course.
He died of AIDS. He died
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
badly. I feel sorry. A beautiful guy,
Mm.
sweet guy,
Right.
super nice guy. I mean, I loved him. He was such a nice guy, such a nice soul. And he passed away in those tragic moments.
Right.
But anyway, got in the studio. And we spent like, I don't know, 1 week
Mm-hmm.
redoing the record,
Right.
remaster, reproducing, put vocals, add vocals, rearrange, re-instruments, strings, horns, full orchestra, and we did the song. Came out,
Right.
and that's the idea. And then I had to come up with the name of the label. And I'm sitting in my office, and as I'm coming up, I'm sitting in the office, and I'm like, how can I? It's an emergency situation, to 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 do this record company. We have to do it quickly, and we have to do it before the first disco convention.
Oh boy. Yeah.
And that disco convention
Yeah.
was going to be part of Studio 54 was having one of the uh, galas for
Right.
the convention, for the
Yeah.
disco convention. And I'm thinking, and I see the sign emergency. I'm sitting to myself saying emergency situation and the exit, emergency exit, on the building.
Right.
And I said, I think my secretary name was Debbie. And I said to Debbie, this is an emergency record company. Yeah, I'm just mentioning it.
Right.
And she says, you said it, emergency records,
Excellent.
She says,
Excellent.
you said it, emergency records. So we call it emergency records, right?
Awesome.
We came up
Awesome.
with Cafe.
Right.
And then to promote the label within that month, that time, I called them up. I said, I need carte blanche because I'm going to do such a promotion for Emergency Records that it will be known within a week. Everybody will know Emergency Records. He says, what do you want to do? I said, well, I want to print T-shirts for 1,000 people. Shorts for 1,000 people. Jackets, emergency jackets
Right.
for X amount of DJs. You know, I was gonna print like you
Right.
got emergency jackets for
Yeah.
everybody made,
Sure.
and nice things. And I don't know what else I want to do. He says, "What? Jacket, shorts, t-shirts." But you know who are the shorts more? All the girls and all the gay guys. I
Gotcha.
shipped all the shorts. I brought shorts for Larry Levan.
All right.
I brought shorts for all the guys. When you went to studio, I mean, when you went to the garage, I was handing out shorts to all the guys going into the garage.
Gotcha. All right.
By the time you walk into the garage, you had emergency shorts on every single person dancing in the garage. Okay? It was an amazing time. And then at the convention, I was handing out jackets, t-shirts to everybody at the convention. The biggest coup de grace was now I need to make a grand entrance, a grand opening. Al Magliano was part of my team. I can't remember who else, but Al was there. Al was with me all the time. I said, I need to go to Studio 54, but I like to go there in an ambulance and put emergency records on the ambulance and pull up in front of Studio 54,
Excellent.
open the back door, and we all come out, you know, and then walk in. Okay? Like I said, an emergency. I call every ambulance company. They said, "Sir, you cannot use an emergency vehicle as a limo." I said,
Like
"Oh my
insane, man.
God, I need that." They said, you can't use it." I said, "Okay." I'm thinking and think. I said, "Okay, I have an idea. We're gonna get a white limo. We're gonna get the cross sign, red cross sign, and
Right.
plaster it on the door of the
Absolutely.
limo."
Mm-hmm.
And we all think, I said, and we're all gonna be dressed as doctors. White coat, stethoscope, thing, and we're gonna go to Studio 54.
Oh
Let me tell
man.
you, Louis, we pulled up in front of Steve Rubel.
Yeah.
The white limo pulled up. The red cross comes out. The door opens up. We all walk out with the doctor suits with the stethoscope around our neck.
Excellent promotion.
Emergency records on the white side and the names of everybody on the left side. Long white coat, white pants. We walked into the studio. Oh my God, it was
Oh
like an event.
shit. I love it. Yeah.
It was an event. People were like taking pictures, flashing. Bah, bah, bah. Who's this? Who's this? Who's this? Who's this? You know, we're like, I mean,
Yeah.
and that's how Emergency Record was formed
Oh my Lord Jesus. I
within a
got it.
short period of time. Then after that, in Emergency, I signed up Shannon, let the music play.
Let the music play. Yeah, I'm sure.
So
Yeah.
that's how we got together now.
That was like the
Then we had Kano. We
incredible.
had
Okay, no,
Kano.
yeah.
I'm
I'm
ready.
ready. I'm ready. Yeah. I'm ready.
Okay, and then we had Shannon after that,
Yeah.
and we had what was that other song again? An emergency. Firefly.
Yeah.
Love's gonna be on your side.
Love. Love. Oh yeah, excellent song, man. Excellent. Wow, what a
So
jam.
there you
What a
go.
beautiful song. Roy, you have done so many things. An hour is not really
Not enough.
fair. Is not fair for me
It's a
to,
two
but
hour thing.
this is more than 2 hours because the detail is important. And I just want to thank you so much, my brother, because this is just
Oh, you're welcome.
a little taste for everybody to enjoy and to understand
Hmm.
the beginnings, the people who actually made it possible for this culture, the dance music
Hmm.
culture, the recording culture, all of this that you have experienced for all the way from the beginnings still to this day. This music is timeless. We, the DJs, will continue to give the respect, and Legends of Vinyl, we're exactly doing just that. We do giving the respect to
Hmm.
iconic friends like Roy B. to come forward and to
Oh
give
yeah.
us his time and to explain to us. And this is just short little time stories because there are so many. And I really hope that we can have another hour sometime in the near future when we actually can get together because I miss you, Roy. I miss you because we
I
have
miss you
such
too.
a great time together. We go out on Fridays and Sundays or whatever the case may be. We always
Yes.
together, and
Hmm.
we've been traveling together for such a long time
Hmm.
now. And
Yes.
I miss you, and we still have somebody somewhere has that tomahawk that
Listen,
it's
Jimmy,
yeah, well, I don't know about
Jimmy Elias,
yeah. Jimmy Elias. Jimmy Elias
you,
is hiding somewhere in Miami right now.
Jimmy,
Good,
Jimmy,
yeah,
you, Jimmy,
yeah,
you, Louis,
yeah.
and Jimmy, you,
Oh, Jimmy,
and
my
me.
brother. Yeah, but you know
We have a
something.
date. We have
Jimmy
a date
is
to go
Jimmy's.
eat a tomahawk. I don't know when it's going to be,
Well,
but
let's
we need
hope
to have
soon.
that day.
Let's hope so soon. We gotta do this. Roy,
Uh,
I love you. I
me too,
have
my friend.
the most respect and for you. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for
Oh, thank
all
you
the
so much.
years of wonderful friendship and
Hmm.
incredible memories that you have. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. This show will be on demand, so people can keep watching it. I'm going to upload it. Please, I created this radio for all of us, all of my friends to come together and play. And this is for friends. All of us are a unit. Legends of Vinyl. Please help us. Donate right on the page on the website that you are watching this. There is a donation little just thing that you just click on it. Send us your donation so we can actually can help us support this little thing we call it L.O.V. And at this time, Roy, God bless you. Please stay safe. I know you're a little bit north of me right now with Jimmy
Yes,
U.
yes, yes,
Jimmy U is up in Jupiter right now. You're a little
yes.
further north right now. Why? I don't
Yeah.
know. But,
Hey, you know,
you know,
we're gonna have. Look at this. It's blue sky, and
yeah, but,
I'm waiting for
it's
the.
right now
I'm waiting for the storm to come.
it's coming together. But I'll touch base with you next week and we'll reminisce a
Yes.
little bit more. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for
Yeah, we
listening
should do
to.
that again.
We
We
have
should
to do
continue.
this. We have to because this is just part one, just like I
This
promised
part one.
Pooch.
Yes.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank you. And remember, everybody, LOV is the message.